everyone. Welcome to StreamYard Spotlight. And it's another Spotlight. Kels, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's good to be back after 2 full whole weeks off.
I know. We had never taken that much time off from
I
the
know.
Spotlight. So
But
it's
it
very
fell
good
on
to be.
Christmas Day and New Year's Eve, so
I know. 2 holidays in a row.
I know, crazy. But it's so good to be back. How are
It's
you?
so good to be back. I'm doing well. We have a lot to cover and we have a very fun episode planned. So it's a nice way to start the week of new shows or the new year of new shows.
Yeah.
Tim, shout out.
Hey,
Thanks, Tim.
Tim.
Thanks for tuning in. And everyone tuning in, let us know where you're tuning in from. David, per usual. Thanks for tuning in again. So we have a very quick announcement. Those of you who are very active in our social media community probably have already heard, but we have just been acquired by a company named Hopin. So we're very excited about this announcement. Woohoo!
So exciting.
Yeah, it's very excited. We've had a lot of questions and people who've been reaching out with congratulations, with their questions, with their concerns. So Gage and Dan are still doing their town halls, and we're directing everyone to go to the StreamYard Live town halls on Sunday on our YouTube channel. So subscribe to StreamYard's YouTube channel to get all your questions answered. Not too much is changing, which is really nice. We're
Yeah.
just going to be able to move faster, put out more features, continue to make StreamYard a better live streaming software.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to touch on that quick announcement before
really
we
exciting.
bring on our guest. I know, I'm very excited about it.
And we have
I
so many people in the comments. Hi, all. Thanks for joining us.
Wow. Woohoo! Nima, thanks so much for tuning in. And thank you everyone who's in. I know lots of people who are in the community group have been so supportive about the announcement, about the journey, because there's a lot of things that are unknown, with any change. It's sometimes can be scary.
Yeah.
But people have been so supportive. So two bigger and better things at StreamYard.
Indeed.
So without further ado, we have on tonight, we have Joe Khammar. He is the digital communications manager at the nonprofit A Better Chance. So they've done a virtual fundraiser, right, Kels? Is that what it's called? Virtual fundraiser for the nonprofit. So we're going to get to talk all about, which is really cool that we're talking about events tonight,
Right.
due to the Hopin, the event company. But yeah, without further ado, let's bring Joe Khammar on. Joe, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much. Excited to be here.
Yeah, we have lots and lots of questions for you. But for everyone tuning in the audience, let us know if you have any questions for Joe as we're going. But Joe, for the people out there great to have you back. Thanks, Nadine. For our audience members, can you give us a little rundown on who you are and what you do?
Sure. So A Better Chance is a national nonprofit established in 1963 that its mission is to help talented students of color gain access to greater educational opportunities. So we prepare young students in grades 4 to 9 and help them gain admission to some of the nation's most competitive schools. A couple of our member schools, for example, Phillips Andover Academy, Phillips Exeter Academy, the Westminster schools in Atlanta. We have a lot of schools out in California as well. We just have a large presence across the country. So we serve about 2,200 students currently enrolled in schools each year, and then about 17,000 alumni have graduated from the program since 1963.
Wow, that's big.
Yes.
No kidding. So can you talk a little bit about where StreamYard came into your life, into your work?
Yeah, absolutely. So in March, everything kind of shut down, and every year we schedule our luncheon. So we have an in-person large luncheon that happens in New York every year, and that happens in a Friday in June every year. And with everything that happened in March, we were kind of like, okay, we were kind of in a holding pattern. We weren't sure what was going to happen. So we started exploring, how do we deliver this online if we have to, if it doesn't go away? And obviously, ultimately, it did not go away.
Right.
So we were looking at what peer organizations were doing. So I looked at, I actually saw an event from the Brooklyn Youth Chorus who used StreamYard to deliver their luncheon. I believe that was during the summer in July or August. I can't remember for sure. And I reached out and asked them how they did it, what systems did they use and everything like that. And the director of development there was gracious enough to get on the phone with me, and we talked about how they delivered it. And the main thing was she was talking about the different tips and tricks she got from StreamYard, how she brought guests on, how she brought guests out, cycled people through the back and everything like that. So from her, I kind of like learned how to do it. And then we sort of went on we created this event called Creating Leaders for a Lifetime, where we wanted to bring together some of our biggest and most prominent alumni figures. And we did that through 4 special events, and then we held our luncheon at the end. So it was a very exciting series that kind of went from all the way from September through October. 5 incredible fun sessions. We had a lot of fun alumni. So we had Roxanne Gay, Krishan Lee Perez, who's Oprah's niece, Debo Adegbile, who's argued court cases to the Supreme Court before, Tochio Nobuchi, who's a Black author for young adults, and Bobito Garcia, who's like an old school New York hip hop radio DJ who's been around since the 90s. And he got a lot of today's most popular figures up on the radio. So like he was one of the first people playing like Jay-Z, for example, and like all those guys.
Awesome.
No way.
That's so great.
Wow, I love that. And we're getting so many people in the comment section that are just saying hey to you, Joe, and people are like, how's it going, Joe? But yeah, wow, that's incredible. So I want to talk about the consistency of the event, or like what it consisted of. So you talked about these different sessions which led up to the luncheon. Now, when it was in person, was it just the luncheon, and now you added it when you went hybrid or when you went online? Did it turn into like a 2-month thing instead?
Yeah, so typically our luncheon is just one-day event. It's a Friday afternoon in June, and it's we typically feature some of our Scholar Award recipients. They're seniors, so these are like our most accomplished senior scholars. They get a scholarship, they do speeches. We have a corporate honoree or like a partner honoree. And it's really only just like a 4-hour event, and it's a lot of fun, and it's probably our biggest fundraiser of the year. For this, we decided that to get the results that we wanted and the results that we needed, we decided to go really big. So this was all devised and created for the sole purpose of just helping the organization and fundraising and involving our alumni as much as we could.
Got it.
Amazing.
Wow, so fun.
Joe, I want to ask you, going back to what you said before about when you were talking to someone to like get her tips on using StreamYard and how to do all that. So what were the few things that were like the most difficult to navigate using StreamYard with an event that size? Because I'm assuming you had a lot of speakers and a lot of moving parts. So can you talk a little bit about like how you navigated some of the more challenging technical things?
So the biggest advice that she gave that I thought was incredibly ingenious was she had, you know how you can put an image on StreamYard, right? You could just drop in an image, covers up all the people. So we were using that as transition cards. So a speaker would finish, we pop up the image, we drop the person off, we put the next speaker up. The speaker knew that when they saw themselves on screen, that was their cue to start talking. We did a lot of run-throughs to get that pretty seamless. I also found that if you're operating the switchboard in the back like I was doing, using a touchscreen device makes it incredibly easy and incredibly quick. So I was actually like twice as fast with a touchscreen as I was with a mouse.
Really?
No,
that's so interesting.
I was sitting there.
Say that.
Oh no, I was sitting there with my 2-in-1 and I was having it folded over and I was waiting, speaker's done, card, next person, drop card. Like it was seconds.
Yes.
That's
actually
cool.
Fabulous advice. Yeah.
I know.
Highly recommend giving it a shot.
It wasn't what's a 2-in-1? It wasn't an iPad or a phone?
No, so I have like a Lenovo, I'm not sure, like a Lenovo Flex touchscreen laptop. And I was just using it in tablet mode and just tapping the people going through.
Wow.
How cool.
That's really cool. Yeah.
I know. Kelsey, you said you've never heard of that before, and neither have I.
Yeah, but it sounds so smart, especially with a device like yours. I think it might be harder on the iOS devices probably,
Mhm.
but on the Lenovo,
Maybe.
if you have that touch screen, I can totally see that working. Yeah.
Yeah.
It really like it was
Tip.
once I discovered that, it was like a massive time saver.
Joe's a
Grandpa
beast.
says Joe's a beast. Nice.
Nice pro tip. That is a good pro tip. Whoa. We're gonna come up with lots of pro
Oh,
tips.
Mike says never thought about using a yoga
Interesting.
notebook. You might consider it, Mike.
Ooh.
Could speed
Ooh.
up your transitions.
Same thing
So-
with like a Microsoft Surface, just any touchscreen laptop, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So Yuta says, Joe, are you only doing this inside of the US or outside?
Yes, so we only serve scholars and students located within the U.S. and only place them in schools in the U.S. So we are a U.S.-based program.
Got it. Good to know. Yuta, thanks for asking. Yeah, that was a good question. Everyone's saying hello, hello.
Yeah, if anyone else watching has any questions for Joe, feel free to drop them in the comments, and we'll be sure to show them on screen. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it's the most fun part of our show is being able to ask the questions. But I have another question. So I want to know how StreamYard really helped you grow the nonprofit this fall when the event happened.
Yeah, so I mean, really for us, like our biggest thing was just getting much more people involved in the actual activities of doing the event. So we were able to then use those people's networks. Obviously, a lot of them had very strong networks. A lot of them had very good brands and images. So, for example, like Bobito Garcia, for his event, his event was answering questions about his newest film, Rock Rubbers 45s. And so we did a screening of his film beforehand, and that generated a ton of traffic. And we got a lot of great questions in there for his event through that. And it was really, we found that a lot of the traffic came from his network personally, not through our channels.
Mm-hmm.
So it was using the networks of our alumni to really strengthen and build our event much bigger.
Yeah.
And being able to do that with a platform that I really didn't have to worry about the logistics for was super helpful.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, that makes so much sense.
We have a question from Patrick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Did you incorporate any fundraising elements? Yeah.
Yeah, so actually the way that I did the fundraisers is each event was done using a YouTube broadcast. But what I did was I embedded the streams into our website, and then I also used the custom script to embed the live chat on our website.
Nice.
Right below that, we had a donation form so people watching live could donate and give.
Nice.
Awesome.
Oh, that's
And
smart.
we found that a lot of people did actually give that way. It was a good little boost to our events. And it was really nice for the host, whoever's hosting, to be able to, like, if you haven't donated now, please just scroll down right below and make a donation to a better chance.
Yeah. And you
That's
made
so
it so
streamlined.
easy for them. Like, you made it easy for them to see the stream. It was easy to comment because you embedded the live chat, and then it was easy to make a donation. Boom. Love it.
Another one from Patrick.
How did your viewer count compare to your past count of attendees in person? That's a great question that we're always wondering about when people transition, from in person to online.
So we basically found that our attendees for the luncheon itself held steady. It wasn't a growth, but it wasn't a decrease. We managed to basically match our typical in-person attendees. So that was around 400 people who typically attend. We had about 400 who watched.
And was that expected for you, or were you shooting for more, or were you expecting less, or how did that fall for your guys' expectations?
Honestly, we had no idea.
Yeah.
So, because our audience for the luncheon is typically higher donors, corporate tables, and a lot of things like that. So we really weren't sure how that was going to translate, if we would retain the audience or if we would lose.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Interesting. Oops.
You took down my comment. Tyreek Tutorials. Does Joe have a YouTube channel?
So I do not, but you are more than welcome to follow the A Better Chance YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/abetterchance, all one word, no spaces or anything underneath.
Nice.
We have all of our
Easy.
events. We have the recordings of all of our events on there, so you can actually see the switchboard operating that I was doing and everything like that.
Sweet.
That's
Okay,
awesome.
So if
Everyone give that a subscribe.
Yeah, if everyone wants to go see the events that you're talking about, they can on A Better Chance. Love that. Okay, so some people's virtual fundraisers look like they sell a ticket, and then these people come to the, whatever it is. They come to the event. It's online, of course, this year. but you went the mode of this is a free event that you attend and then you can choose to donate. Now, why didn't you decide to go the ticketing route?
Yeah, so for us this year, we wanted to, because everything was just so unique, we wanted to really expand who could see the luncheon and see what it was about. So typically the luncheon does have obviously a price tag to attend, purchase a ticket to attend. This year we wanted to show a larger audience, and a different audience. We found that in some cases the audience was, it was the same size, but it was definitely different people who watched it. So we did for this event, we had registrations, and then once you registered, you got the link to view the luncheon for free. But we wanted to make sure we captured who was watching so we could compare and see who watched it, compared to last year.
Right.
But we really wanted to see, are people outside of the typical in-person luncheon crowd, interested in the content of the luncheon? What sorts of things do they want to see? What sorts of things do they like? So this was really part of just we wanted to see what worked and figure out is this something that people are interested in watching for future years.
So by taking off the paid ticket up front, it sort of opened up the possibility for a lot of new viewers and different people who might not have come in the past. Is that sort of your thinking? Yeah, that's awesome.
And really, it was great because we were able to open it up to, parents, for example, of students in the program could watch, students who are in the program who could watch, alumni who can't make it out to New York, donors who can't make it out to New York. They all got to be able to watch it.
Yeah, that's the really beautiful thing about the virtual stuff, because a lot of it, I mean, I know we all miss these in-person events, and a lot of them are such traditions. Like, it sounds like this yearly luncheon is such a tradition for a nonprofit.
Over 2 decades.
Yeah, right. So in a sense, it's like devastating to have to change it. But on the other side of the coin, doing it online really helps you reach people who would never have been able to come out to New York City to come to that lunch. So that's really awesome to hear.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Patrick has another question. Did you change your marketing strategy versus the gathering event? If so, how?
So yes, we did. Normally for our in-person event, we have invitations printed out. We mail out invitations to, a very segmented, specific group of people. And then we have, a typical, we have a crowdfunding component that happens with the luncheon itself as well. This year, obviously, no in-person event. So we didn't do we didn't do printed mailings this year. We did everything through and then we also did phone calls to those specific curated donors and, specific, one-off emails to those donors as well. And we expanded out the marketing to really our whole constituency rather than a much more segmented group.
Nice.
Good tip. Patrick, those were great questions. And Joe, this has been a great interview. So my last question for you is what would you say is your favorite feature of StreamYard, or maybe your favorite part about it?
My definite favorite part about it is, just for me, it was the ease, right? So the biggest thing was we had to get all these different people wrangled. Our team, the development team, the fundraising team, we're only 3 people. So
that's a lot for your team.
Yeah. So getting everybody wrangled, getting the panelists selected, chosen, accepted, and everything like that, getting the guests on, getting just all the actual people involved on and ready to go, getting the preparation and the practice ready for everything, just having a platform that was I figured out how to use the platform in maybe a day or so, right? And then from there, it was just practicing with the people, making sure that everything works. Tech support. I was telling you guys before we started that we had a lot of panelists who were not as tech savvy, so making sure that they were good to go and everything like that. Really, it was just the ease of use and the fact that it also didn't require that much power to run. So, before it started, I was looking at, okay, do we do it through like an OBS type system and broadcast through OBS? Do we do it through Zoom? And I really didn't like the look of how the Zoom events went. I really wanted to make it more of a broadcast thing. So getting the look that I was looking for and the look that we wanted while still, without breaking our backs doing the logistical work.
Love it.
That's great to hear.
I
Yeah.
think that's probably my favorite feature too, because you make it look so good. It makes it look like you have this
Hmm.
whole team, broadcasting television team, and it's
Right.
just
Yep,
you running the backstage.
exactly. I'm just
Yeah.
hiding behind, tapping people on my touchscreen, throwing them
on
in,
the
throwing them
touch
out.
screen. I love that. That's such a good pro tip. Well, Joe, this has been awesome. It's been so fun talking to you about your virtual event and how it's been such a success on StreamYard. And yep, so if for more information, people can follow your nonprofit there. When will be the
Yes.
next event that they could see live if someone wanted to come?
That is a good question. So 2021, we are looking at how everything is playing out. We're also looking at what sorts of do we want to roll it back and do a similar thing this year at that time? Do we want to do something different? We're looking at doing delivering the luncheon again. It's looking like June so far. So June this year, we're going to be doing the luncheon, and I would
Nice.
say it's a strong probability, if not for sure, that it's going to be held on StreamYard.
Nice. Awesome. Or at least a hybrid.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Part in person, part live. I love it.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Well, it's been such a pleasure having you on our show. Thanks for being a guest.
Thanks, Joe.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys, for having us.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, how fun.
So great.
I know. I just love hearing about how different people are using StreamYard, because we have a lot of people who are doing it for their business. So they have such a different, agenda, things they're trying to accomplish, get more clients. There's nonprofits, like we just talked about, who do events instead of like having a weekly show like we do.
Yeah,
So
totally.
it's just fun to hear everyone's different perspective. And I love the tip. The
Yeah.
touchscreen tip.
Pro tips.
Amazing guest. Yeah, Erin, I agree. We also had so many viewers, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. What a great way to start off our first week of shows.
Yeah.
Virtual events don't get canceled. Patrick, good point. Start with virtual and add audience if you can. That's a great idea. Yeah, so just plan for it to be online, and then if you can do it in person, you can do it in person. I love it.
All right.
Well, Kels, we will be back next week. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Bye.
Bye.